All right, post-game show time. Lance is going to join us in a little bit. Jim Dunaway is still in Tuscaloosa. Looks kind of desolate and grim in Tuscaloosa there, Dunaway.
Oh, I can see two homeless people sleeping on a bench over there. A nice couple over here trying to reconnect. And one drunk guy stumbled by moments ago. So no telling who's going to come by. We're probably 2 blocks away from Innisfree downtown. And I found a place called, I don't know the name of the bar, to watch the Cal Auburn game after I was through working with Emily Grace today. And good interview if you want to go check it out on our platforms with Jalen Milroe, where she talked to him after the loss tonight here in Tuscaloosa. So, but Auburn gets the win. And that was a game with a lot of mistakes, but a W is a W, right?
A W is a W. That was, as Dave says right here, that was an ugly win, but it was a win. I mean, that was an ugly game. I don't know any other way to put it. But hey, listen, if you're Auburn right now, you've never won a game in the state of California, you go cross country, a trip your coach was not looking forward to, obviously, in the way he talked about it, and you come away with a win. It's all you can ask. I mean, every opportunity to seize the control of that game, and they refused to do it. Eugene Asante is an absolute beast, though. That guy, man, did he take that game over.
He really is. But can we just ask this question off the bat as everyone joins us here? And if you're watching us on replay, go ahead and reply to this. Does Auburn have the best win in the SEC so far this season with this win tonight against Cal?
I tweeted it. I tweeted it a moment ago. I worded it this way. Auburn is about to have what might be the best SEC win of the season thus far. The only arguments you could make would be Tulane, Arizona, or Cal. And all those teams play now. I don't know who would win a round-robin tournament among those 3 teams. I think they're a lot alike. So, yeah, I'm going to say Auburn's got the best SEC win of the season. It's nothing to brag about. The SEC has not performed well early on, but they've got it.
It has not. Pratt didn't play, though, for Tulane, right?
He did not. Tulane's backup played, and that would probably make a difference. There's no doubt. And the final score of the Ole Miss-Tulane game, if you didn't watch that game, is a little bit misleading. That was a much closer game than the final score would indicate.
Right.
But, in the big games, obviously, LSU lost to Florida State, South Carolina lost to North Carolina, Alabama lost to Texas.
I'm aware.
Texas A&M lost to Miami. I mean, I can run the list.
You don't have to keep reading them. I've lived them all. Upside, though, is I want a stake on Texas. I want a stake on Colorado today. So that thing booms back up to 11. I may have picked up a couple of more. We may have a new record of stake wins. 11's the current record. I had it a few weeks ago. It's back to 11 now, maybe even 12 and 13 if I check it when I get home.
Yep. Love the Blue says first loss by a Pac-12 team. Actually, Arizona beat Cal to the finish line there when Mississippi State beat Arizona in overtime earlier today. But the first 2 losses for the Pac-12, Oregon slipped by Texas Tech in the primetime window there, but the Pac-12 took it on the chin a little bit. Stanford's okay; they're up 49 to, or excuse me, USC's okay; they're up 49 to 10. So. The Pac-12 was taking a loss tonight one way or the other because Stanford and USC were playing. But, at a conference, those are the first couple of losses the Pac-12 has taken. They are, I guess, the best conference out of the chute, whatever that means right now.
Well, we'll get back to the Auburn in a second because this is my first time to react to the Alabama loss. First off, go check out my in-depth interview with Matthew McConaughey.
Oh, he was phenomenal.
Hard-hitting questions, rapid fire by me. And one-on-one with Matthew McConaughey. So go check that on all of our platforms. As I told the guys in the media room when I got up there to listen to Nick Saban and then to interview the players, I said I may have just picked up my 3rd Emmy with the win, with the interview over with Matthew McConaughey. So remind me to send that one in.
Yeah, let's do that. Lance is going to join us now on the post-game party. So he is there in Club LT with his USC shirt on. Lance, do you need to sweat out the end of this USC game, or are you able to talk to him?
No, I'm yeah. Look, they took the pedal off. When you bring Miller Moss in, it's over. So they could have scored 100 points tonight. Not even. I was more focused on Auburn and Cal. We've got terrible quarterbacks in state. Terrible.
I was going to say that. I don't know. I don't know who the best quarterback in state is right now. I have no idea. Let's go around the horn. I did 30 minutes after the Alabama loss, so my thoughts are on record there, on demand. Dunaway, your thoughts from spending time inside Bryant-Denny watching that game tonight?
Milroe did not play great, but they did have the lead at one point in the second half. So it's not just a Jalen Milroe problem. There's a defensive problem. There's an offensive line problem. Unless Texas is one of the best teams in the country, they have a problem. I mean, they couldn't protect. Proctor couldn't protect him on the left side. Milroe's pocket was always in trouble. He missed a ton of throws. He holds the ball too long. But the secondary gets beat deep. They don't pressure the quarterback. Let me know. Hey, by the way, not the receiver's fault. They caught a lot of hard balls to catch tonight. They didn't have a lot of drops. Wasn't their fault. Penalties were back. 10 penalties again. You name it. It was all bad, man. It was all bad.
It was all bad.
I don't want to be that guy, but I'm used to watching caviar over here, and tonight was not it. Tonight was not it. And Texas may be that good. I don't know.
No, I don't know if they are. I mean, I still don't know. I don't think Texas can run the football consistently. Alabama's got multiple problems. That offense is night and day from what we've seen in the past. And I have no idea how they've missed on quarterback and receiver this bad. And I'll tell you this, the offensive line, we've got, our man on every week, and he comes on and talks about how physical they're going to be. And I will tell you this, against the pass, they were awful. Pass pro was terrible. Against the run, not bad, but they can't block up front. And so Jalen's got no time. You got receivers that don't get separation. The defense, I think, is really good. So you look at the 34 points. I don't know what to think about that, but this is a mess right now for Alabama.
Well, that first Quinn Ewers touchdown pass was just a great catch by Xavier Worthy. I promise you, it was
pass and catch.
Yeah, well, it was like a Hail Mary. He just threw it to a spot. He threw it like I'm sure they showed it in a replay and talked about it, but in the stadium, I pictured Xavier Worthy being like at the 27 when he threw it, and it was only a 44-yard pass, so he was barely out of his break, and he just throws it like at the moon. And just Worthy has to adjust and make the catch. So that wasn't bad. That was just sort of like a good throw to a point and catch. But then everything else was, any of the other big, deep, over the top throws were just blown coverages. And then you have to hold them because you've been beat deep, and the pass interferences, the penalties that came back. It was a disappointing effort. But then when they fought back and got the lead, you just thought to yourself, well, they're gonna muck around and win this game, even with that. And I didn't think Sark coached a great game, and with the way Alabama's offense was playing, when he went for it on fourth down and didn't get it there,
that was terrible.
Yeah, I thought that was dumb.
To me, Alabama's offense is not going to go 80 yards on you.
That's right.
That's one of those situations where the entire game could have flipped on Sark. I thought it was a terrible call. But, this came down when we talked about this, what was going to happen. Whoever turns the football over. And Alabama turned it over twice, and they had 10 penalties, and they couldn't get out of their own way.
Yeah, I had my envelope. I left it in the car. I wrote down Alabama has 3 turnovers. So I was close.
You were very close.
That's what I wrote in the envelope this morning. Y'all were talking about turnovers, and I had Alabama -3 in turnovers.
I didn't know. I don't know. You guys mentioned a lot of issues. I don't, and I was checking Twitter, looking at some stats and things. Did either of you mention the fact that we are in week 2 of the college football season? So they've had a month of fall camp and 2 football games, and the center still can't get the football to the quarterback. Did either of you mention that issue? I mean, how are you this far along, and the center can't get the ball to the quarterback. That's remarkable.
Nick was asked about that in the post game, and he said it does not happen in practice. He doesn't know what's happening.
It's happened in the first 2 games. It's happened in the first 2 games. Don't know how it doesn't happen in practice. It's happened in games.
Doesn't happen in practice. Only happens in the game. And another thing that surprised me about the post news conference, and you can see this on our platforms too. Remember, follow at Next Round Live so you can get everything. But he was asked specifically, did you think about changing quarterbacks? And Nick Saban, 100% of the time in his time at Alabama would have answered that I did not, unless he did change him. You know what I mean? He would have said, I did not. Tonight, he said, I did. But then he made that touchdown pass, and I thought, I don't know what else he said after that, but I was floored when he said, I did. I did think about changing quarterbacks. And then he made that touchdown pass, and he didn't change him after that, because it's easy to blame the quarterback. And he is, there is a lot to do with this team. You're stupid. You're stupid if you leave tonight thinking Alabama just has a quarterback problem.
Those picks were awful.
They were.
Alabama wins the game. And I think it kind of shows you, and I tweeted this out, the only tweet I sent today was about Jeff Sims and how bad does backup quarterback have to be for Nebraska to not get Jeff Sims out of there. And I don't want to say that. So, like, Jalen is really good or really bad. And it's one of those, there's really no in between. But, this is one of those offenses you've got to have consistency and not turning the football over. And he's just a guy that's going to turn the football over.
Yeah. In my opinion, I'd love to hear what both of you think. In my opinion, his ability to run the football can be intoxicating. But I would rather give that up to have somebody that can get the ball out quickly to receivers, even if they're just short passes, or just, run the ball with the running backs. I mean, this line can't block for deep balls. I understand why it's intoxicating when he takes the draw and goes 20 yards, or around the edge and goes 20 yards, but he just doesn't get it out fast enough.
Yeah, but you better have a quarterback that's got a quick release, because he's not going to get a ton of time to throw. And you mentioned those running backs; they don't pick up the rush. I mean, if you don't have a mobile quarterback, Texas probably has 20 sacks tonight, Lance. I mean, Alabama, the backs don't pick the rush up, and the line can't block hardly.
Yeah, I have no idea. Tyler comes on our show every week. He's a great guy. I thought, as far as run blocking, I think they're road graders. But when it comes to the pass pro, it's like night and day, and it's kind of weird. I really don't understand it. But Texas nonstop was all over Jalen Milroe. And not only the 2 turnovers, though, 10 penalties. I mean, it was just sloppy football. And I don't know how you guys feel. I mean, the weird thing is the 3 teams that are dominant to me in the SEC West, Alabama, LSU, and Texas A&M are all 1-1.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell's going on. And Auburn should be 1-1. I mean, California was like, I'm going to give you this game. And they did. Yeah. The kicker was terrible. The mistakes they made, their starting field position was unbelievable, and they couldn't close the deal. And, the same with Ole Miss. Like, I had Ole Miss today. I laid the 12.5. We ended up getting there. It was a really weird backdoor cover. But Ole Miss wasn't good. Mississippi State wasn't good against Arizona. They should have lost. I mean, the SEC West right now is a mess.
I don't know who is any good. Like, Georgia doesn't even look all that good. They're just playing crappy teams. So I'm kind of giving them a pass, but they don't look good. I don't know who's any good in the SEC. I really do not. I've watched every single team in the SEC for 2 weeks now, and I don't know if any of them are any good. Yes, I don't know. I mean, Jay Price says Georgia and Tennessee are the best looking so far. Tennessee beat Austin Peay by 17 today. I mean, what am I supposed to do with that? It's Austin freaking Peay, and they won by 17. They only scored 30 points on them, didn't they? I mean, I don't know who's any good. I don't think anybody's any good, honestly. Honest to goodness, I think this is a down year in the Southeastern Conference. Tommy says Auburn's defense is good. I'll give you that. Auburn's defense is good.
I get it.
They were today. They were today.
Cal's offense isn't good. That quarterback is awful. He's quick, but he's not accurate. So, like, I will tell you this, though. I got a couple of takeaways. Like Michigan, their defense is lights out. Miami's defense is quick on the ball. Watching them today against Texas A&M, boy, I think Miami's going to be difficult. Everybody talks about Florida State, Miami. We might finally see that. That might actually be whoever wins the ACC.
Yeah, we've never, and I guess they could play again twice. Again, Miami looked good today. I don't know if they're any good. This whole country, I don't know who's good, to be honest with you.
One question I got on Twitter today, Brownie, was about LT. Remember, he had LSU to win the national championship. They lost to Florida State, which will end up not being a bad loss. LSU may still be good. Then this past week, you sort of started leaning towards Texas A&M possibly winning the West. They get beat by Miami, not a conference game either. And people are wanting to know who are you going to go to next in the West. I think you just answered that. Like you wish there were no divisions this year, that maybe the two best teams are going to be in the East.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I mean, I have no idea. I don't think there is a dominant team in the SEC this year. I really don't. Even Georgia.
You can't say that about Georgia yet, though. You can't say that about Georgia yet.
Right. It's weird. They've dominated, but they haven't looked great.
In the first half, when the game is in doubt, they are not playing well. Georgia is not. Now, I said Dunaway, I give them a pass because these are two crap opponents. Maybe when they get in the better part of their crappy schedule, they're going to wake up. I don't know. We'll see next week against South Carolina. But against these two opponents, when the games are in doubt, they have not looked good.
They haven't been able to run the football. And that's the one thing you can count on from Georgia is running the football. And Carson Beck, we don't know if he can take the game over or not, but they have not been able to run the football yet.
With what you've seen out of Colorado the first 2 weeks, would Colorado beat Alabama?
No.
I think
Colorado.
Why would you say no?
Fucking mud stomped by Alabama. They
will. Why would you? Why would you say
they will.
that?
I'm just telling you. So they'll beat Colorado State. I cannot believe game day is going to this game. You would think
look at next week's schedule, though. I had a buddy over watching games today, and he's like, "Who's the big game next week?" And I started laughing. I was like, "You're not going to believe how bad next week's schedule is." I said, "It's so bad. Game day's going to Colorado State." He goes, "Oh God, there's got to be a better game than that." And I read the top 25 schedule. He's like, "Yeah, I guess that's where they got to go. It's an awful schedule."
I mean, people are saying this. Colorado would give Bama a game. Colorado would beat Bama on a neutral. There is zero chance. We will see. So Colorado is night and day better than they were last year. They've got great skill right now, and I'm not surprised about that. I'm surprised the offensive line has been able to hold up. If you watch the game today, Jeff Sims was awful. And Nebraska had every opportunity to be up like 17 in the first half. And they completely blew that. Game got away from them. Nebraska's offense is one of the worst in college football. I don't think there's any doubt after watching them 2 games in, against Minnesota, against Colorado. If that's anybody else, I'm telling you, Colorado, they're going to beat Colorado State. Oregon will mud stomp them. USC will name their price. And I don't know how you guys feel. Like, I like Dion, but this whole thing is getting a little old.
Yeah, I would say this, Dunaway. I would say this real quick, Dunaway. If you gave Nebraska Jalen Milroe today, they would have beaten Colorado. It was all about how bad Jeff Sims played. Jalen Milroe would have beaten Colorado today with Nebraska's roster.
Yeah, probably some Alabama fans watching right now are like, "Oh, is that trade still open?"
Jeff, you don't want Jeff Sims.
No. Future 4th round pick, please. Yeah, I would tell you. I would tell you it's easy to overreact. I promised myself this morning before I drove over here that I'm never going to not appreciate just the ability to win anymore, just to beat somebody, because talent's getting sort of pushed around because of the portal and stuff and the NIL. So, Auburn won tonight. So I don't care if the guy was missing chippy field goals and Peyton Thorne didn't look great. I'm going to say if I'm an Auburn fan tonight, it's a win, man. It's a win. I'm going to take it. And if it's, even if you went to overtime at North Carolina to beat not even a great Appalachian State team, I'm going to say, man, that's a win. Take the W's. I'm going to enjoy every W until I die from now on. I don't care who is again, because tonight,
it
felt
is
like I saw the dynasty. Tonight it felt like I saw the dynasty flash before my eyes.
No, hey, I will tell you, and I had a buddy of mine that's over here right now. You guys know him. He looked at me and he said, "You might be right. I don't know if Saban's ever going to win another national championship. I don't think he will."
Well, I mean, he certainly doesn't look like he's got a team that can do it this year. It's going to have to be another year. People are fired up about Julian Sayin, the incoming Alabama quarterback at some point. That team tonight, I don't see how that team would win a national championship.
Can he be here in 2 weeks?
I mean, when I did the emergency show, I brought him up, and people were like, could he start against South Florida by chance next week?
Yeah.
And that's the thing, Bama's playing at South Florida next week. I mean, how much do you think you see Ty Simpson and Dylan Lonergan and Tyler Buckner?
You can play as many as you want. South Florida's terrible, so that doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Well,
I think you'll see great quarterbacks.
Go watch Emily Grace's story, EG's story, because when we were interviewing Jalen Milroe afterwards, she asked him first, were you looking over your shoulder? And he said, not really, blah, 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 blah. But you have to wonder if he was looking over his shoulder at any point. And Nick Saban himself, as I said that he thought about changing quarterbacks. So you just wonder, how long does Jalen Milroe hold on to being QB1? Do you go to a 2-quarterback system like you see Auburn using? Do you try Tyler Buckner? Do you try Ty Simpson? Do you try Lonergan? I don't know where the team goes, and I find that very interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah.
No, I think you have to, though, because watching Ole Miss today, and again, we ended up 6-5 on the day, so we ended up having a winning day. Shaky start, but Ole Miss was one of our winners, and Brown, you and I were talking. Was like one of the best backdoor covers of all time. And this works both ways. You lose some, you win some. Yeah. But this Ole Miss team, they're not that good. They're just not.
No, they're not. Dunaway, I don't know.
The quarterback was able to go down and press them. And Ole Miss was not only lucky to cover, but lucky to win the game. But, that game's coming up. They got to go to State. They got to go to A&M. I mean, I think Bama loses for the first time since Saban's first season, 3 games in the regular season.
Yeah. Well, by the way, I was sitting next to the guy from the Citrus Bowl. I had the Citrus Bowl on one side of me, the Cheez-It Bowl on the other.
Oh no!
And usually I wouldn't talk to the Cheez-It Bowl guy, but I felt like I may need to get to know him in the future.
That's bad. Seriously?
Hey, no joke. The Citrus Bowl guy knew who we were. I was like, hey, I'm Jim Dunaway. And he's like, used to be on Jocks? And I was like, yeah. And he says, I watch y'all's podcasts all the time. And I was like, really? He goes, yeah, we're down in Orlando. We watch you guys. And I was like, man, thank you. I gave him a couple of cards. And he says, if they end up in the Citrus Bowl, we'll look us up and we'll hook you guys up. And I wanted to say, dude, if they're in the Citrus Bowl, we ain't coming.
Yeah, we are college football playoffs with nothing. If you,
but honestly, like we were talking about this earlier, like just a couple of years ago, Alabama like 14-32 into the game. So like we're, a minute and 28 into the game, Alabama was up 7-0, and then it was 14-0, and at halftime it was like 35-3 maybe on all these games. And this
not against a team like Texas. Come on, now let's give Texas some credit here. Now this Texas team's pretty good.
This Alabama offense is not good. They're not.
No.
Okay, I'm not saying Alabama's any good at all. You can. This is not about Alabama. This Texas team is pretty good. Those receivers.
No, I agree.
D line's good. Yeah.
But I'll tell you,
That's what I'm saying.
Watching. So there's some Big 12 teams, the ACC and the Big 12 both. Some teams that are like creeping around, like Miami. Again, they were flying around today. They've got so much speed. And when Van Dyke is on, watch out for Miami. And on the other side, I think the Big 12, when you look at like a team like Kansas State, Kansas State completely dominated Troy. completely dominated. So there's some good. This is going to be a fascinating year. It really is. I think we're going to have one or two teams that will end up creeping into the college football playoff that we had no idea. Much like last year.
Yeah. Can y'all just? I haven't seen all the scores. My sixth plays today. I was 3-2 last week. Obviously, the parlay.
Oh, I think you got your dick smoked today.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking you. North Carolina didn't cover. A&M didn't cover. Did Georgia Southern cover? They did. That's a win. Over UAB,
Georgia Southern
right?
covered over UAB. Yep.
Jack State, they keep it close against Coastal.
No, did not cover.
Lost by 16.
1-3. Texas, I had Texas. That's 2-3, and USC's going to cover. I'm going to be 3-3. Dude, I'm 6-5 on the year. What are you? You're 6-5 today. Wait a second. Hold on.
What are you doing?
What is this?
I've not had a losing week all year.
You have not. You were 500 today. Congratulations.
I have not had a losing week all year. 3-2, 3-3.
Well, I will tell you, I will take my 6-5. It was such a disappointing. We started with Nebraska. UTEP was up 7-0. UTSA was up by double digits. What else did we lose? Wisconsin. So disappointing. Congratulations, the Brown Bandit.
Brown Bandit called that one earlier this week. Straight up.
And
win.
By the way, I got to take a loss on Minnesota. They won by 19. They were laying 19.5. I've never lost on a team laying 19.5 that hit on 19.
Yeah, that's a tough way to lose right there. There's no doubt.
Also, LT, thank you for the steak on Colorado. That was a gift back on.
Hey, I do have singers here tonight. If we get to that, okay.
Oh, all right, let's do that. But you just blew.
I can hear it already.
You just blew past the fact that. Thank you for giving me the Colorado one. Yeah, Colorado and Texas. I mean, Texas plus 10.5. That was a gift as well back in the summer. So thank you for both of those.
Zach says Jim doing that dance in the government plaza is amazing. Yes, it was. It's amazing anywhere he did it. Anyone know if EG is alive? Dunaway, did you see EG off? Did she leave town?
Yeah, in fact, I met EG's dad today. He came. He's a Georgia guy, Georgia fan, Georgia grad, and he wore Alabama gear to go to the game with his buddy. And his buddy was taking pictures of him and sending it to all their Georgia friends. It was his first time ever to go to an Alabama game. And I thought she did a fantastic job. Go watch her package over on all of our platforms. But then I carried all the equipment all the way downtown where I am so that they could go on and not have to worry about lugging the gear back. So I've got the camera and the tripod and all that, Brown. So I'll have that at my house.
No, so I watched EG tonight when she was talking to Milroe. And
right.
I mean, she's 22 years old, like fresh out of college, like the balls. I mean, I loved her asking direct questions like that. She did a great job.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Yep, she really did. And the Alabama folks, Gonzalez and Aaron were making fun of me. They were like, "When's the last time you held a camera, Dunaway?" And I said, "I'll tell you exactly when it was. It was the bowl game in 1998. It was the last time I had the camera. I think it was an Auburn bowl game in 1998. Haven't held one since. And here I was tonight."
People wondered what are you doing, Lance? You disappeared. You were covering your face. Are we playing hide and go seek with you?
No. I'm back.
Okay.
I'm back.
Who's singing?
People here. I got
Caroline there.
Hey, so this is awesome. Yeah, Caroline's here. Hey, so I picked up chili from the boot camp today.
Right.
And within 5 minutes, she was on my island in the kitchen eating a bag of M&Ms. Then she put her head in a bag of Chick-fil-A, took an entire Chick-fil-A biscuit, and ate the foil and the Chick-fil-A biscuit. So
basically, you just that training money, you just flush it down the shitter.
Yeah.
Well, I just think she's acting out a little bit. Now, I did get a text also that I need to pull Bullet out of training because he needs to, I swear to God, he needs to get neutered before he can go back in. So I have basically adopted two dogs that are fucking gremlins, and They're going to rule.
It's going to be the jungle. You're going to live in the jungle over there. It's going to be like freaking. It's a survival of the fittest. There's going to be a bloody corpse. Someone's going to drag a bloody corpse in your house.
Not yet.
That'll keep the season interesting, though. That'll make the season interesting. If Alabama and Auburn's quarterback play does not get better, we can always just get a dog update from LT.
I don't know what to make of.
By the way, Auburn's quarterback play is worse than Alabama's quarterback play.
I mean, I was about to bring that up. Peyton Thorne, 9 of 14, 94 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Ashford threw 3 times.
Dude, I don't want to go scoreboard, though. They're 2-0, though, so you can't talk.
No, they are. Hey, look, I'll give them credit. They found a way to win. Again, Cal's kicker was awful. Cal had so many opportunities in plus territory to make plays and win that game, and they couldn't do it. So I give Auburn a lot of credit. I think Auburn's defense is solid. I think Auburn's going to get better. But right now, Peyton Thorne is a terrible quarterback. He just is.
Hey, can I ask a legit question about Alabama, though? Everybody's making a big deal about 350-pound linemen, which seems to be okay in the run game. But are they a good pass blocking group? And
no.
Could it be that they're too big?
I don't know if they're too big. They're just not good. Like the footwork, watching them, they were getting olayed all night. Texas had the pressure on Milroe. And thank God Alabama had like a mobile quarterback, because if you got somebody else back there, they're getting crushed.
Nick did not pull any punches. Nick didn't pull any punches, Brown, about the offensive line. He said they really didn't blitz. They got to him with 4 guys rushing. He goes, a couple times they got to him with 3 guys rushing. That's what he said. And you know how it is when you only got 3 guys rushing or 4 guys rushing. That means there are 8 or 7 in coverage. It's hard to throw the football there.
I don't know that all of them being 350 plus hurts them, but it certainly doesn't help them. I mean, it's not made them any better than anybody else that they're bigger than everybody else.
So if you guys had to guess right now, when you look at Alabama's schedule, and, you know, you've talked about it, Dunaway, this is one of the best home schedules we've ever seen. But you have quality opponents rolling in. Texas, out of conference, has already won a game. I mean, do you guys feel like if I said right now Alabama wins 10 games, would you go over or under 10 games regular season?
From what I have seen, I think they're better than State and Ole Miss. Texas A&M's defense was atrocious today, Lance. Terrible. Atrocious. Dunaway, I know you didn't get to see a lot of that game because you were in Tuscaloosa. Their defense could not stop Miami in the second half. Couldn't stop them. I mean, it was up and down the field for Miami. And they tapped out on top of all of that. Their offense, how would you grade their offense? I'd say their offense wasn't great. I mean,
who, A&M's?
Yeah, A&M.
Wegman was not nearly as good as he was last week. And again, I think it's the speed of Miami. Miami looked like a legitimate SEC defense to me. Miami was really good.
But early on, when I was watching that, what was it, 10-0 Texas A&M out of the gate? I mean, the early part of that game, I was like, oh, here we go, man. Texas A&M is looking good. You're right. Then Miami sort of flipped the script there. I watched more than I usually do today, Brown. I had a good tailgate set up, and then I had my iPad with me in the press box. So I was bouncing around on my YouTube TV watching a lot of. So I saw more than I usually do on the road. I got to record it. I'll watch them when I get home. But you know, the one that I was impressed by, again, Notre Dame impressed me today. Again, Colorado. I mean, whatever you want to say about Colorado, they're fun to watch, man. And when Nebraska, you know, stubbed their toe there in the first half, that allowed in the second quarter, got Colorado going. And once they got that momentum going, it was over, done.
Yeah, the game was good, and that game had a huge delay in it, 1 hour, like hour and a half, 2 hour weather delay in it. And when they came back out after that weather delay, Notre Dame was dominant. And I don't know if that's a good NC State team or not. They didn't look great against UConn, and they got smoked today by Notre Dame. Lance, I know you kind of liked them in the you picked them to play for the conference championship.
Yeah, I did. I was wrong.
Yeah, I don't think they're any good. I mean, and I don't want to take away from Notre Dame.
I don't know how you guys feel, but like, to me, college football now with the transfer portal has become like the NFL. Like, the parity is crazy.
It is, and we used to always say,
I think it's awesome.
Well, we used to always say we wanted parity. But here we are talking about. I don't know if anybody's any good. Dunaway. I guess that's what parity brings.
I think the only people that wanted parity, Brown, were those that were not always in the playoffs. I don't think Clemson, Alabama, really cares about parity. They liked it the way it was.
Yeah. The teams that were dominant, they were happy dominating.
Well, I will tell you what; those two teams will not be in the college football playoff. Like I would bet balls, legs, any kind of things on that.
You only have one to bet, and
I know
one of those. So you got two legs. Clemson struggled early against Charleston Southern. They ended up blowing that out, but we'll see what Clemson is made of. They play Florida State.
I think they closed on a 59-7 run.
Yeah, that's going to win most games.
I thought you were supposed to be drinking Redmont vodka, not Absolute, because you're just throwing out absolutes, man. This team's not going to do this. This team's not going to do that. This team is this. This team is that.
Alabama is the offense. I am blown away how bad Nick Saban has missed on quarterback and receiver and even offensive line and maybe even running back. I don't know. The offense is night and day from what it was a couple of years ago. It's terrible.
Yeah. Josh says tonight was a game as Auburn fans were accustomed to losing, but yet we found a way to win tonight. I would agree with that. I mean, it was It is far from a pretty win. There were a lot of Auburn fans in my Twitter mentions saying this does not feel like a win at all, but you're 2-0.
Celebrate the winning, though.
Yeah,
celebrate the winning. That's right.
Dude, I have no idea how they won that game. I
really don't either.
And I'll give them credit. And, boy, man, I mean, it's like California just gave them that game, which is great because I do believe, and I've said this the entire year, that Hugh Freeze is one of these guys that takes like first year and he will make sure they get better each and every game. So, this is, I mean, with the West as wide open as it is, I don't know if a West team is going to be better than 9-3. I really don't. I don't know if they will.
I'm going to need to see more of LSU, Dunaway. I'm going to see more of LSU. They scored 72 on Grambling today. I'm not talking about that. I just mean LSU against quality again.
And LSU was down to Grambling, by the way.
They were.
I would tell you this. It's easy to overreact. It's a long season. Alabama's won national championships with one loss before. A lot of people have. SEC championships. It was not an SEC game for Alabama. It wasn't for LSU. So the path to the playoffs is still in their own hands. All they have to do is win the conference. So we'll see. Just like last week, we said don't panic in Baton Rouge, don't panic in Tuscaloosa. You just got to get better. Just got to play better, and you just showed. And Florida State and Texas could be two of the best teams in the country. We'll find out.
I asked this question, or I was asked this question in the emergency show I did after the Bama win. Somebody said, "What is good about? Give me something good about Alabama's offense." And I did the old. If you guys remember Apollo 13, when the spaceship's falling apart. And Ed Harris, all these people are telling him what's wrong. And he's like, okay, what do we have on the ship that works? Somebody just tell me what we've got on the ship that's actually working. And I tried to do that with Alabama's offense. You guys give me a bright spot from Alabama's offense. Lance, you first. Give me what's working.
Amari Niblack. I think
that's all I could come up with.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's good. I'll tell you this, Jalen Milroe, when he's good, like it's almost like Jekyll and Hyde. If you get like good Jalen, I mean, a couple of the throws tonight, and I'm not a huge Jermaine Burton fan. I'm just not.
Well, he was in the end zone 3 times tonight. He can't help. Nobody cannot get a penalty behind him.
I know that. But the last ball that he tracked, like I didn't think he was going to be able to get there, and like he tracked that down, made a great play, and again, as you said, should have had 3 touchdowns without the penalties. But outside of Niblack, Jason McClellan is a gritty guy. This is just not a good offense. And how it's fallen off a cliff. I mean, if I'm a Bama fan, I'm like, what the hell has happened here? It makes no sense.
Can I say I thought the receivers, they were open a lot. So they were open a lot. So they didn't have a lot of drops. So I thought the receivers were a positive sign. Isaiah Bond was beating his guy a lot, and on one deep throw, if it had not been underthrown and he had to come back, if they put it on the money, if Jalen put it on the money, it was a walk-in touchdown. So that was one thing that I thought was a good thing. I agree with the tight end. He was good. Special teams, that's a plus. Reichert and Burnup, is that his name?
Yeah,
Burnup
was great. The defense is really good. I don't think we got what Texas was able to do in the second half. I think Alabama's defense can be really, really good.
The defense Dunaway finally broke. I thought the defense played well, and the offense put them in some bad spots. That said, Quinn Ewers could wear that uniform to church tomorrow. They did not get a hand on him, and that's alarming.
Not at all.
Yeah, they could not pressure the quarterback. They tried everything. They blitzed. They rushed 4. They rushed 3. They tried a lot of stuff, and they had to limit their blitzes because they were struggling to cover the receivers on the backside. So, I mean, once you have to do that, boy, you're in a hole on defense. Kevin still had his hands tied.
Two things real quickly in case I lose my battery because I'm now under 10%. Some professional came to Tuscaloosa without a phone charger today. So if I go black, don't try to call me back because I'm not coming back.
Right. Okay.
If I go black, I'm not coming back.
Yes, I've heard that saying. Yes.
Two things. One, I hope LT saw my Matthew McConaughey interview. Have you seen it yet?
No, I did. It was like you were. It felt.
Don't give it away. Don't give it away. Don't give it away. I mean,
okay.
There was some hard-hitting questions, and I thought the answers were unique. So don't give it away.
No,
watch it.
I just want to say it felt like. So last week, Bullet, when he came to the house, he was trying to hump me, and I was trying not to give him any attention, and it seemed like you were trying to hump McConaughey, and he wasn't giving you any attention at all. Is that fair?
Hey, he smells wonderful, by the way.
Bullshit.
Real? No.
I don't know. I'm kidding. I was that close, though.
Yeah.
I was that close. I don't know what it smells like. I was walking.
He had to be out and sweaty. Yeah.
And I had one other point. What was the other point I was going to make? I can't remember now. Go ahead.
Real quick, story to watch. I don't know if you guys have seen this breaking. You're in Tuscaloosa. You've been watching Southern Cal. Mel Tucker is under investigation for a sexual harassment situation, which sounds like the stuff you trump up when you're trying to get a guy out of a fully guaranteed contract.
Yeah, I would agree. It's like, okay, so Mel, you had this 1 year. We messed up. We're going to find a way to get you out because Mel Tucker is not a good coach. I told you guys this years ago. This is going to be a bad situation for Michigan State. I don't know how you get him out. That's one
way you do it. That's one way you do it. So no details done away on this. It's just a report from ESPN, and Michigan State has released a statement saying they take it very seriously, but they won't confirm or deny it, which confirms it at that point.
Yeah, that is the way you get out of big bad contracts. So if I'm Jimbo Fisher, I'm washing all my DMs off my computers right now because they're going to be looking for something on Jimbo too.
I'll tell you what Jimbo is missing is Mike Elko.
Elko was a good defensive coordinator. Dunaway, you had this number. What is Jimbo's buyout after today's loss? You were sharing those numbers earlier today.
I think it's $71 million.
It's a lot.
$71 million.
Yeah,
for Jimbo Fisher.
Yeah. I thought it was 78.
Could be. I think after the year is $71 million. I think. Conor O'Gara has it down, but I think it's $71 million after the year. It's $31 million for somebody else who could get fired.
I'll tell you this. I cannot believe how many people are against Jimbo now. I can't find a Jimbo backer.
Yeah, well, they're going to play Lama Road, and they host Auburn. I mean, after watching Auburn tonight, it's hard to see that Auburn team that played tonight winning there.
Dude, Auburn's offense is only worse than Alabama's offense.
Yeah. They will play Arkansas neutral site. Arkansas hasn't really played anybody yet. That's a tough game for them. They got Alabama in College Station. They play Tennessee. I mean, there's a lot of losable games. The way their defense played tonight, there's a lot of losable games coming up for them.
If I ask you guys, who is the favorite right now in the West?
LSU.
I mean, I know Stu says LSU.
Whoever says LSU, it could be LSU.
This whole damn thing.
Stu says LSU. They've still got to come to Tuscaloosa. And what did LSU do against Florida State that tells me they're going to go win in Tuscaloosa? I mean, Lance, whose defense you think's better, LSU's or Texas?
It's about the same.
I think Texas.
Dude, let me tell you, the Texas fans, they bought some Alabama fans sold their tickets. I bet our boy Steve will tell us if we called ATIX that a ton of Texas fans bought some good seats in Bryant-Denny Stadium. They were a ton of them in the lower bowl before the game and were there throughout the game, not just in the upper rim. So they spent some money to be in the lower bowl. And they, after that second Milroe interception that led to the quick touchdown, they started, all the ones in the lower bowl started chanting, SEC.
Oh, I heard it. You could hear it on TV. Yeah.
I cannot believe, though, we're in not even the middle of September, and LSU, Alabama, and A&M are all 1-1. And those are your best teams right now in the West. They are. And they're 1-1. It's crazy.
As Aaron says, the West is absolutely wide open. Bama, Ole Miss, Auburn, LSU. I don't think, State's undefeated. I know they haven't played anybody really. I really don't know. I don't know who to pick in the West, Lance. I'll tell you who
I think I would go LSU. I
don't know. I'll tell you who I overvalued, though, is Kentucky. I know they're in the East. But I really got baited into thinking Devin Leary and Liam Cohen would fix Kentucky's offense, and they're just as bad as they've always been.
God, I agree with you. I think the SEC is like come back to the pack.
It's so weird. How did it happen overnight?
Like, I think the Pac-12 is legitimate. I think the Big 12 is better than I thought it was. I think the ACC is better than I thought it was. I don't think the Big 10 is as good as I thought it was. So it's like the Big 10 and the SEC have come back. The other conferences gone forward. I think it's going to be a fun year.
I remember my other point now, Brownie.
Okay, go ahead.
The Bo Nix comeback. How about Bo Nix? Oregon back. It looks like that game was done.
Yeah, I will tell you this. I gave out 11 plays today at lanceslike.com. I love Texas Tech all week, and I ended up bailing out on them last night. I would be so pissed. I don't know if you guys saw how that ended.
Oh, I did. You're talking about the interception when they were down 1?
Like the weirdest interception ever, and he takes it to the house. It was crazy.
Yeah, Texas Tech still had a drive to score there, but all it takes is a field goal in that situation. But if I'm a Texas Tech fan, man, I mean, they got up big, or not up big, but they got up against Wyoming, disappear, lose that game. They get up against Oregon, lose that game. I like that Joey McGuire coach, but boy, that was
brutal.
That's 2 brutal losses for them. Absolutely brutal losses. All right, Dunaway's battery is about to die. It is also 20 till 2.
So can I get out?
Yeah. Do you
it's 20 till 2?
It is 20 till 2, yes.
20 till 2.
I won't be home until 3 o'clock.
This is like Timber. I don't want to like chop him down and make him fall, but like he's borderline stinky as fuck.
So are we going to do a song or what? Are we out of here?
Yeah.
See,
Caroline? Everybody wants Caroline.
Did Caroline leave?
She left.
Oh, Caroline left.
Well, we got no singers. All right. Hey, so lanceslike.com, how many NFL picks you going to have up? You know yet?
Yes, I have got 5 NFL picks tomorrow. I've already sent them in. They're ready to roll. Let's get on it again. Today was shaky. We went 6-5. It was such a bad start.
Yeah,
it was just kind of a ratty week, but we'll bounce back. Hopefully we go 5-0 tomorrow. I've had a lot of undefeated NFL schedules. I have never gone undefeated in college. Like I've never had like a 9-0, a 7-0, an 11-0. I've had like really good days, like a 10-1, a 6-1, but I've never had like an undefeated day.
Don't mess up. Don't mess up and take the Vikings against Tampa Bay. Buccaneers are going to win that game straight up tomorrow.
I got to go take a piss.
Steve, thank you for that announcement.
You want to give me the Bucs and some points tomorrow?
I kind of like your Bucs tomorrow. I stayed away from it because I don't love them, but I kind of like them.
I need a win, LT. I need something good out of this weekend.
Hey, so I got no shot. Like I wanted to play the Rams, and that number's down to 4.5. And Cooper Kupp is on the IR now. God.
Yep, out 4 weeks. I saw that during, I guess it broke during the Alabama game. I was like,
Yeah. Hey, Bryce Young tomorrow.
Bryce
That's a good play.
Bryce Young.
Yeah.
against Atlanta.
Hey, I saw this. So I think rookie quarterbacks that went number 1 overall are like
I saw this too.
11-1 starting their first game.
I think it's 0-13-1 is what I saw. If we're talking about the same thing, but it's something and 1.
I gave that Furman stat about week 1 divisional games, home dogs. Did you play any home dogs in those divisional games?
So let me tell you, I played 5 games. I played.
Don't give them away.
So don't give them away, but the home dogs were Indianapolis, Cleveland, the Giants, and the Jets. Did you play anything in any of those games?
I did not play any of those games.
Okay, those are those home dogs. The stat from Furman, it's week 1 division games. The home dogs in week 1 division games. Home dogs over the last 18 are like 12-2-1 or whatever. If that math makes sense, it doesn't. Oh, it's 18 games. Yeah, 18 games. They've won 14 of the last 18 or something like that. It's a crazy stat. So
hey, Sunday says need to know what gummies LT is on. I'm not on any right now. And I made sure because I wanted to be like somewhat coherent for our broadcast right here.
Yep.
I might get on one in a second, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
Do you think they aim these sprinklers at the park benches here at 2 o'clock in the morning just to
keep the
homeless off of them?
I don't
Do you think
know.
they do that for reals?
Hey, do y'all want to say hey real quick to
Yeah. So
look
is
at
that
Chili.
Chili or Bullet?
This is Chili.
What's up,
Hey,
Chili?
Chili.
What's up, Chili?
Wish I had some chili right now.
Well, go get you some Waffle House.
Hey,
Get Bert.
So
Bert's
next
Chili.
Saturday, the high is 82, the low 64. It's going to rain. I'm doing chili.
All right, Lance,
hear
got
you.
the menu. All right, well, you boys, Lance, be
So
careful.
real quick,
Jim, be careful.
Chicken
all right.
cock, a little Coke, 2 sponsors. People are asking what's in this. That's it.
Cock, a little coach. Lance'sLock.com. All the picks are up for tomorrow. Dunaway's doing something weird. Oh, what is that?
I don't know.
MyBookie.ag code next round to play those. MyBookie.ag code next round. All right. Dunaway, you be careful driving home. Lance, you have fun. Good luck tomorrow at Lance'sLock.com. I'll see you boys on Monday. We'll be back together Monday, 9 a.m.
Let's go Rams.
Let's go, Rams Eve. No Cooper Kupp. All right, y'all be good. Everybody, thank you for joining. See you next time.